All right,
I guess
we're
we're
live.
live.
We're live.
Yo, what's up, dudes?
Even though there's
Yeah,
only
it
one dude
works.
right now.
It, I don't mind. I don't
Yeah, me
mind.
too.
There's still
Me too.
we're gonna consider it as dudes. So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of two people who are experts at one thing, and that is running on Pixagon 3D.
Yep, shitting on
So we're on
theirs.
to episode yeah, we're on to episode 3 on this. So what are we
Mm-hmm.
talking about right now?
So, as the title suggests, we are talking about hackers in the game and probably about related issues
Yes.
like bugs along the way.
Oh,
And there will
bugs
be,
too, huh?
yeah, and there will be two parts to this. There will be, well, it will be one stream, but it will be divided into two sections where Boss will talk about hackers back then, and I will cover up the hackers nowadays and probably the shenanigans that has happened. And yeah, probably
Okay.
talk about bugs here and there since it's a niche topic. Might as well just put it in here since it kind of fits in with the theme, in my opinion. So yeah,
Yeah, cool. I guess I'll start.
all
I
right.
actually had to just retrace my head to like back at the time I was playing the game, like in the early days and stuff. For everyone who've been playing the game since the early days, y'all know absolutely what was going on in the early days. Ever since, let's say, the game started having gems and implemented multiplayer and started adding more features that made the game more complex. But there was one catch. The game had virtually no security as far as I was aware of it. So essentially, what that meant was the game that we all loved, Pixel 3D, became the subject of, let's say, mod menus, and multitudes and various methods of hacking. It was like that one vulnerable game that just got shot at all fronts, really. Not only was it like filled with mod menus and other hacks that might have just ruined the game to a lesser or higher degree. Well, for the hackers, I don't know if that was really considered ruining the game or not. They're just trying to make the experience for better for themselves, to say the least, while ruining it for the other players who are trying to play it legit. But because of all these security holes issues that led to people being able to create this kind of community, which what it ended up to, this community of hackers, where when kids started to get into the game, maybe one of their first couple of community videos were being like, here's a hack of how to get infinite gems or
And
infinite currencies. You can just buy all the guns in the game.
and I remember if I remember correctly, it was kind of a hot topic back then as well. It's kind of a hot topic on YouTube too. There's like so
Yeah,
many
it
videos
is.
about this back then. That's how vulnerable Pixagon 3D is back then and still is right now.
I mean, it goes to show when I just found out that the game is still getting attacked by hackers, and I heard like the alleged DDoS attack that
Mm-hmm.
happened more recently too, for
Yeah.
some reason.
Well,
I don't
according to
know
the
where you got that from, but
announcements,
I'm guessing that's mainly
it's
from Discord server.
yeah, the Discord server as well. It's not really. I don't. If I remember correctly, it's not the first announcement. There's actually like more than one DDoS attack announcements.
Oh,
Or I,
really?
or what I assume it is not because because uh all they would say. I think the devs assume like just hacker infestation. They would just call it like some sort of DDoS attack. Because I don't remember. Well, yeah, because I don't remember like any hackers would actually try to DDoS the headquarters or quote unquote servers. The only thing I can come up with right now from my point of view is literally just them raiding servers, raiding like Pool Party, for example, the most famous map where most of the hackers will be there. and that's what I would assume. Just occupying the servers. I don't think it's really a DDoS attack, but if it is, then goddamn.
Hmm.
Because hackers, well, I'm just gonna talk about this a little for now. Because hackers can crash servers. If that makes sense to you, like they can crash not exactly servers, but they can crash games. Like they would just join. This is somewhat okay. This is somewhat a bit like old, modern-ish hacker era for Pixel 3D, which is like probably like last year, where a very famous hack before the PC port was to just hackers joining games and potentially soft lock the games of everyone. So soft lock the entire lobby, and people will consider this as server crashing. Even the mod menu says so. There's like the option to like crash servers. There's like the option over there, and when they activate it, it basically soft locks everyone's game, and you'll be stuck in that camera view of pool party, and then they have to rejoin the game. They have to reopen the game in order to move on. You know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's just a part of it. We'll cover this more soon in the second section. So right now we're just gonna talk about the old days of Pixel 3D hackers. So as you were saying,
Yeah, I mean, this led to like the infamous hacker community or hacker cult is what I used to call it whenever that happened. And I started my PG3D YouTube career when the hacks were still there. I was farming the hackers when they introduced the dual betting system because turns out the people who I kept betting super chess with were the ones that probably had like infinite amount of gems or something. So that whenever we bet, it didn't really matter to the hacker if he won or lost, but it mattered to me back then because I just wanted to get the items. So I just went ahead and farmed out the hackers as much as possible. And it went so far to the point that I got like 30 plus K gems back in the day,
from these
and maybe nearly
hackers,
100,000 coins.
from those hackers,
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I was farming for these hackers. Well, not only were there also hacks, there was also this infamous glitch in which Esoteric did share, along with numerous other PG YouTubers that decided to do so, where there was this fancy little account switch trick, let's just
Ah
call it that,
yes. Ah yes.
where you essentially, if I remember correctly, you essentially just log into someone else's account just to copy the progress made from that account into your own local device, and then you switch your account back to your original account so that it gets stored there.
It was also
So
quite like
whenever was discovered, people just started farming out of this, like making max accounts and selling the max accounts to other people that might want to get it. So yeah, not only mod menus, but there was also this one wave of max accounts that was that was like running around the game for a while, I guess. Don't know exactly how long that run, but still, that was probably one of the most prevalent glitches known in PG3D history. And I remember taking one of those max accounts, like, damn, so you can literally get everything now
I
because of
remember
how
back
stupidly vulnerable the game is.
I remember back then where I actually did this with some of my friends, not exactly with Max account, but back then my account was considered good, relatively good back then, probably like 2018, 2017. And my friend said, "Hey, I wanted to enjoy the game more. Like, is it possible if I use your account?" And I say, "Hell yeah!" And at some point, I even made like some sort of a guide to my friends to how to use my account to like make to do this account merging thing. I call it account merging because you're basically just taking your account, assigning to others' account, and this progress will somehow overwrite, but then again, it's not really an overwrite. It kind of like it still has your progress, and then overlaps. It overlaps with someone else's or progress. So basically, the progress is merged, and you got a more powerful account. Even I remember back then, I also made like a guide for them. How are they doing? I have no
Well,
idea.
essentially, the accounts would technically get overridden because max accounts were denoted as accounts that had virtually everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the account that you're merging, like the account that you're merging with, will most likely not have everything in the game. So you could just merge in the max account so that your account gets maxed,
Mm.
which essentially is overlapping. And that was like
And
a huge thing. That also, again, like I said, it became like they made a market for it, much like the mod menus. Whenever people just grouped all the exploits of the game together into like a one fancy mod menu for players to use to quote unquote have fun with, while also ruining the day for other people.
and I remember for for that in that regard, right, about like merging accounts. I remember like back then there's like this certain time frame where on YouTube, YouTubers would be like uploading videos on how to get a max level account and the steps up and the technique is the same, just merging accounts and all that stuff. And they will take this max account, they will put behind like not necessarily a paywall, but like it's like a free max account type stuff, on YouTube, and they'll be like, click this link, follow the steps, and you get your maxed account, which basically just gives you a Gmail and a password, which I also think is very stupid because it's like a first come first serve. There's only one account, and the one who got it first might have just changed the password of said account so the others couldn't get it. So I don't see the point of making those videos back then. Like follow like I remember steps being something like, like the video, subscribe, whatever. It's like some sort of ad fly ad fly page or something. I don't fucking know. And then you can like, okay, now that you've completed all the steps, you can have access to the account, the details, and turns out obviously it doesn't work. So it also serves as some sort of clickbait if you think about it. I remember back then these videos do exist.
Huh. Don't know if they really exist right now, but I guess some of them do, but we're like past that dark era. But it was still a pretty dark era because essentially what the hacks have done, if I remember correctly as well, it also caused like the inflation in the shop to where it's
Yes.
like for a normal player looking like it's virtually impossible to get any good guns back then,
Mm-hmm.
and thus further making them resort to hacks.
Is this before where the currency will be like multiplied by the thousands or before that?
I
Like,
mean, it was just going through everything.
uh-huh. Hackers and then
Like it
inflation.
was just going through everything, both before and after. It didn't really matter
Yeah, I mean that's true.
because the game was still vulnerable even after when they made that mega inflated economy update, where the
Yeah,
guns costed like hundreds of thousands of coins and gems and shit like that. It was
yeah.
like the one of the most unnecessary updates I remember. Like it didn't really help with jack shit because you probably have to grind the same rate. It's just the numbers have changed, so
Mm-hmm.
that it is significantly harder to figure out whether how long how many games you need to take or you need to play before getting whatever gun you want to get. Let me see. What is the best gun to get in coupons? Well, that's on you, CLMT. If you want to answer that question,
I don't think I don't think I want to
like
answer
I said,
that, to
I've
be
never.
honest. There's like so many videos out there about it,
There are.
like what weapons to get. like 20. Okay, they're all like the most of them are like 2023 comp. Not really, like for 2023. I have not seen any like best weapons to get for coupons in 2024. But I think there will be soon. There will be one soon because the gallery just got updated, and guess what? You could get anti-champion rifle for coupons now, which is like a one-shot sniper. Wild. But I think there will be a new one soon. But
Man,
as of now, it's all like 2023 coupon videos. Anyways, back to the topic. Yeah, I do remember like hackers just yeah, inflation about that, all about that, and it's quite a common thing back then. And don't you want to cover about the modding videos? I think were there more mods? I can't remember anymore because this is like the back. This the old era is like at the back of my head. So were there like more modded videos, modded account video guides than actual hacking mod menus, if you know what I'm talking about. Like one just gives them the weapons and the currency, and one literally has the hacks that can affect other people's gameplay. Like which one is more often? Which one is more common back then on YouTube?
it's like it was like a lot. Like both of these videos were published on YouTube for sure. I don't really know exactly whether or not they were more of the mod menus or the straight up exploit videos right now, but for sure there was like a lot of those videos published
Mm-hmm.
and then being spread to several players, and they also influenced several PG YouTubers to do the same, which also greatly contributed to fostering this hacker community where the average player probably has used some exploit or maybe even using a mod menu for whatever the means they had to do to even obtain whatever they want to get. And then the game just essentially became a hacker fest where it was just hacks versus hacks essentially, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And also, and then the hackers, to some extent, will like hack people's hack people's clans. I think the old clans was also hacked before. Like at some point, like hackers will like take over the leaderboard and change all their names. If you know what I'm talking about, it was wild back then.
That was late. That was in the later parts before the developers started to add any quote unquote measures to these hackers.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to also talk about like the videos back then, like JBro, Exin, and maybe some of my experience with those. So my case, all right, I'm gonna be a bit personal, a bit vulnerable here. So I think it was the year 2018 where I decided to use one of those mod menus. Well, not exactly the mod menus. I think the most famous one back then, I think the most notable one was where you would the mod menu I'm talking about, where you would go back to like the older version of Pixel, like very, very old, and then you use some sort of developer menu or something, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what you
Dev
still remember.
console.
Yeah, dev console, and then you would just max your account, and then after that you just update your game. That's basically how it goes. And I did not buy everything, obviously. I don't know why I did not, but yeah, I did buy a few weapons, which are considered obsolete at this point. All right, there were only five categories back then in Pixagon. Yeah, so yeah, I did that,
True.
and when I first updated the game, it says that my account got banned. But then again, what the weird thing is that the only thing I have to do was to just reinstall. I reinstalled the game out of curiosity, and for some reason it worked. Yeah. So not all my currencies are there. All my currencies, the hack currencies were gone, obviously, but the weapons are still there. The weapons that I bought are still there.
Huh.
And the truth
You
is
managed
that
to filter that out, huh?
yeah, they and then in the hack in the video that I followed through, that I guided through, it says that re we have to like server log. You have to server log once every few minutes to avoid detection. I have zero idea how that works. And funny enough, I forgot about that step entirely, but then again, I am still safe. I'd still ended up being safe, my account being safe from the second ban, you know. So it went from developer console updating the game, got a ban screen for some apparent reason, and all I have to do was to just reinstall the game, and I got all my weapons. Not exactly, not all the occurrences, but the weapons were still there. And the truth is that that is still the account I'm using today. So I don't
Quite
know if you,
funny.
yeah, quite ironic about the anti-cheat, but I'm not entirely sure if people are still gonna report my account. I only hacked like 5 weapons, and that's fucking it. Secret Forces rifle being one of them. 5 weapons, honestly, 5 weapons out of
Huh.
1,000 that I've gotten. Legit, yeah. There's so many weapons in Pixagon right now. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then again, the guns are kind of losing their point of existence. Well, that's like 99.9% of the guns, really.
Yeah, only like a
That
hundred
point,
rifle
that
ones.
like 0.1% of the guns is like what the players are striving for, really, to get so that they can keep doing their shotting gameplays and stuff like that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to each other.
So that's my experience. And I also shared that same mod menu. By the way, the video was uploaded by Xin. I'm not sure how is she doing right now. Probably dead. Doesn't I mean not I mean probably dead on YouTube. She doesn't make videos anymore. Like she went from Pixelgun to Fortnite on iPad videos, and I have no idea where she's at right now. Yeah, that's where I got the
God knows.
mods. So that's my first and last modding Pixelgun experience, and that's it. So yeah. My account is
Well,
technically still a hacked account, technically, yeah, technically speaking, but I only hacked like 5 weapons, button. So
right.
you were saying,
I mean, I didn't really notice the extent to how the hacks were floating around in PG3D until I started going on my way watching the YouTube videos of Pixelgun 3D, and I'm willing to bet that if you searched PG3D videos on YouTube, you'll be met with how to get infinite amount of gems and currency. Here's a mod menu for you to install. Follow these APK Android steps because we all love Android and shit like that.
yeah, it was.
And also including glitches as well, numerous glitches that you could do. There was even this little glitch that I did where you could just changing
Oh,
time
right,
zones. So you can just keep watching ad videos
right. And
because they didn't have like a security measure on that.
oh, fun
So
fact.
that was also happening. So there was like one loophole to just slowly but surely get like to an infinite amount of gems. Even though I didn't exactly reach to an infinite amount of gems, but it was still a method to reach to a relatively high amount of gems back then.
Oh, fun fact. That glitch, that bug, whatever you want to call it, was actually still a thing recently, like last year, where brawls were
Really?
still a thing. Yeah, where brawls was still a thing, and then like you get a fighter chest for that stuff, or win a chest. I can't remember, right? So brawls are like
Oh,
let's say a certain task like win or kill how many enemies, and then at some point on Discord, somebody was sharing like a loophole like what you just said, changing your time zones and then doing the task again because it resets for some apparent reason. So yeah, but it only works for like some time zones if you know what I mean. But yeah, that glitch was still a
right.
thing back then, and I also used that to my advantage. But shortly after, it was patched again, so you can't do that no more. And plus, they don't even do brawls anymore. Like, what the fuck? They don't. You know how Pixel used to do brawls? Like, they would just like highlight a map in purple. They're like, hey guys, new event is going on. Go play the brawl or some shit. I don't know.
My God. I wasn't the biggest fan of brawls. Looking back at it now, maybe I was back then, but right now I don't think I am because
Hmm.
it didn't add that much to it.
And now now it's rarely continued. You could say it's practically discontinued, but yeah. They don't do brawls anymore ever since they updated the UI to like the 18.0 update, I swear, like the dev update. My goodness. Say
Yeah, it's
what?
like it became as practically useless as the most of the game modes that exist in PG3D.
Mm-hmm. Like the
I'm
mini
willing
game,
to I'm willing to bet that too.
like the mini games and whatnot.
It's like people aren't really coming to Pixagon 3D to play their fancy little mini games. I think people hardly ever do come to Pixagon 3D to play those mini games. Maybe like once or twice a month or something. I don't fucking know. They mainly get there to play their core game mechanics, which will usually be team fight or deathmatch or anything that uses the guns in the game, not anything else. We also had this example where we had raids. That initially was a useful game mode because that was like your only source to get module parts because the Death Fight was a great idea to add modules to their game and
Which
have
only adds into
weapons
the
just
problem.
equip those modules. What?
And I mean, like they added modules, which ended up becoming another problem in the Pixel 3D economy and the balancing. But we'll probably talk about that in another episode. But yeah, raids used to be really helpful, really useful for new
Yeah,
players. Generally,
absolutely.
players, yeah, to the general player base. To be honest, like it was easy to get modules, and now they just fumble up. Like though shards to remove modules was dumb. That one was really dumb, really unnecessary. Like not sure whether you still remember like
I almost forgot that yeah, did were you supposed to use shards? Wait, were the shards only used to remove, or did you
remove,
also use?
just
So it
just
was only
remove.
for removing.
Yeah, only for removing. So if you fuck up, you have to spend some shards. It was cheap. Yeah, I get it. It was cheap. It was easy to get, but it was so unnecessary to add like another currency just to remove the modules. Like what? What is going
It's
on?
like why if it hardly makes any difference, you're just adding like extra unnecessary efforts. Like it's that I would argue to why it was not needed at all to have a currency for removing stuff, and genuinely adding currencies for removing stuff is just silly.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a currency barrier just for removing stuff from whatever the fuck that might be. But also, if they set it up to the point where it hardly makes any difference, then why even bother adding it to begin with?
Exactly, and it does realize that, and I think that after a few updates or like the update right after they removed that feature, that currency to remove mods, it was so dumb.
Well, yeah. Also, just to speed forward to why raids became useless. So
Because,
raids right now is like probably dead. It's like
well, I'm not sure it's
became
dead right now.
desert.
I'm not sure if it's dead right now. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but raids are kind
Well,
of like
it's virtually useless
virtually
because
somewhat, yeah.
it's because what happened now is, well, this was during the clan whenever they added a clans update. When they did that Mega Clans 2.0 revamp, they moved the source to get the modules from raids and now to the clan wars from those chests. Remember, if I remember correctly, you were supposed to get some chests,
Yeah, so you get modules
chests
from
that could
clan
provide,
chests. Yeah,
yeah, those
which
clan chests, and they did, and then they removed the opportunity to, yeah, they removed the opportunity to remove the, yeah, no, not remove, but to get modules from those module sets from raids. And raids back then, whenever they started the 2.0 update, were only there to be like the center point clan war map task where you had to just go to raids and win whatever.
when the game it gives like
That
the
was like the
hold on.
that was like the only purpose of raids when that
Yeah.
happened.
And now with the Clan War 2.0, it's not there anymore. So what for? And also like because of
Oh,
that, like back then you were saying like module chess. Why are we talking about modules? This is about hackers. But anyways, yeah, like modules back then. were like accessible. It was more accessible, and now it's like the complete opposite of that. So hackers, yeah, they do, and because of that, obviously hacking, hacking was still a thing. It still plays like a role in there. Uh, it it it, it kind of contributes to like the whole shenanigans because of modules, hackers. It 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 incentivizes it kind of like incentivizes more hacking into the game. That's what I'm trying to say, my bad. Because of these features, because of these changes, this one primarily, I think, this it primarily incentivizes hacking and yeah. So mod menus about hacking max modules, yeah. We all can blame on that as well.
Huh.
Because I believe generally why hacking exists in Pixagon is because not only because it's anti-cheat is terrible, but also because everything is so unaccessible. People would literally rather hack, or to some extent, I hope not, or maybe it is DDoS their servers, their headquarters, just because they have severe distaste and dismay around the game. Like these changes literally just proves the point. Literally just goes to show why hackers are still a hot topic like around this game. Well, not only to Pixel, I believe hacking mod menus in games are still relevant topic. I think, if I remember correctly. I mean, hackers and whatnot. We can't exactly eradicate all of them. We can only just reduce. Same goes to like committing crimes and whatnot. You know.
Alright, that's true.
Yeah. So like JBro, yeah, we got JBro, we got all that. So every single time the devs patch, a new video will come out, and we all know how history tends to repeat itself. That cycle does still exist right now. We'll probably cover about that soon. So anything else you want to talk about the old days of Country D hackers? Like
I
anything you
mean,
still remember?
it was probably like the best era for being a hacker in the game because the game had the game security was so to say non-existent. It was so to say non-existent, which led to all of the mod menus and the fostering of this hacker community. And I also believe that devs might have thought that just inflating their prices was going to make it any better. No, it just incentivizes more players hack to hack the game and then glitch onto the game. So if we were to go back to like let's say maybe 2016, 2017 is era of that game where hackers were prevalent, then it's safe to assume that most of the players were using hacks of some sort. I also remember this one specific hack where there was like a dude who was called CSGO, and his hack was like respawning to his in his same death spot just to have a chance to fight back. But the only flaw of that was back then I used Ghost Lantern. So whenever I hit him with the Ghost Lantern, I just got multiple kills because it just spawned at the same spot, but the Ghost Lantern bullet was still there. It's just
Oh,
traversing through and I get like tens of fucking kills.
hmm.
That shit was funny. That's how I probably easily won games with that kind of hacker. I just farmed the shit out of him with the Ghost Lantern. But yeah,
All days of silent school, I guess.
I mean, we also did have map glitches as well.
Oh yeah, I mean since we allow it to be industry, we can talk a bit about glitches. Like I remember back then where Ants Life was like a very famous map to practice out of bounds glitches, and we're still a thing until 2021, and then they officially patched it. Yeah, not sure what you see about back then.
I remember a certain fox that were pretty infamous of doing that and then calling others bad
My
for
goodness,
using out of bounds map glitch in that exact map.
Ants Life, holy shit, it's one of my favorite maps, and yeah, we had fun. Well, obviously, if we didn't do it in pubs, that will obviously ruin the fun. But most of the time, people would just try it out in private games, and yeah, it was kind of fun. Yeah, we're also like, this out of bounds glitch were actually still not relevant. It's still apparent until like around, if you were to according to YouTube, I think it exists around the 20. I think it exists around 2022. Where I'm not exactly, I'm not exactly sure when it stopped, where the trend of out of bounds like stopped, like glitch. There used to be this YouTuber, I forgot the name, who would reveal all the out of bound glitches for Pixagon. And it stopped somewhere around 2021, 2022. I just can't exactly remember which year, but it was still a thing until that time. Out of bounds glitch. But I think the most memorable one, the one I remember the most was like Ant's life. And probably spooky circus. I forgot what's it called. You know, that Halloween circus map, still a thing.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember that map.
Yeah, it was also infamous for out of bounds glitch.
Man, it's pretty wild to hear all this. See that all of these hacking exploits have just existed for quite a long time and just fostered like a community that was pretty much beyond saving. Because who the fuck would now want to pay for gems if the gems are inflated and they know that they can hack the game? They would obviously choose to hack to just use hacks and exploits for the game back then, in which this foster of the community led to rumors have it that PG3D like almost died. Well, that was almost according. That was like according to Echo Soldier when he was selected as the featured content creator dog lapdog from the devs.
Hmm.
My God, and he still is.
And the altercations he has went through. We all know that one video that got taken down, but we can talk about it in the next episode. I really like that. I think that would be like a very
Yeah,
fruitful topic to
that
discuss.
would be that would be a story for another day. That
Maybe we can talk about what
oh
we could have
yeah,
done back then, like the protest. It was funny as hell.
oh yeah that because it was so silly that they shows that guy, but more details later on a later episode.
Maybe the next one. You never
Like,
know.
huh? Or maybe the millennia. I don't know.
Oh well, depends.
You're just gonna see what more we can really talk about here. But yeah, back to the old days of exploits, glitch, you name it, anything that deviates from the purpose of playing the game. It was just madness, pure madness, to say the least, if not the most. Like if I were to take the word of Echo Soldier that that they hacked and shit like that, almost killed the game at one point.
Yeah,
Just existed, thrived, along with the most prevalent PG3D glitch tubers or exploit tubers or hack tubers. I'm just gonna call them that now. J-Bro and Xin.
and there's probably more out there. I just can't remember. The most notable one being
Esoteric
J-Bro.
did contribute to it. He did
Yeah,
contribute to the exploit community with his max account.
yeah. It just goes to show,
In
man.
which
Back then,
in which I used and then eventually got banned. This is on Boston Modern lore. Well, not really bad. I just got reset, and then I
yeah.
made a strong comeback after that. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do a comeback after this. I don't mind,
I wonder what
and I
happened
managed to do
to
that.
that. No, I mean you did manage to do a comeback, but after some time, it took so, and then after some time, you start to realize how much of a shithole it is.
I mean, yeah, because back then the game was still infested with hackers. So throughout my comeback series, in which I recall the redemption series, where I just redeem myself as 100% legitimate player, probably getting like half the weapons existing right now per today. But that was still something to show that even if you get reset, you can still get up and get the fuck back and then restore your reputation, and then get the glorious weapons back, know what to do, so that you can just get back on the grind and catch up to the trend again. In which I did succeed, thankfully, but along the way, that also included farming hackers as a legit player as well.
Oh God, I mean, there are good hackers. There are helpful hackers, I guess. Back then, but right now I don't think so. I have some stories, I guess. I have some stories to talk about, but I wish X99 is here because he has more exposure. He has more first-hand exposure towards the hackers, but maybe I can talk about his story in his behalf as much as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like pretty much most of the stuff that happened back in the days when hacking like almost killed PG3D, I
Yeah.
guess.
PG3D kind
Not
of
sure
dodged
about the
that.
almost killed PG3D, but it was like infested with hackers until like their supposed office revolution somewhere in May 20 something. Was it 19?
Yeah, I think so, around 2019, where the hackers suddenly was seized at some point, I think. Like hacking wasn't really a hot topic for Pixagon. It's like Minecraft around like 2016 to 2019, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like Minecraft,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
its relevancy
But
suddenly dropped after the renovation, and now it came back again. Yeah.
well, the reason why the hackers were just got their relevance reduced was because by the time the devs made the Office revolution, they also took into account the hackers that infested the game, and said they were gonna launch like a massive ban wave towards the hackers, which also probably caught innocent players in the crossfire as well.
Yeah. There was an attempt, though. I'll be honest. Weirdly enough, those innocent bans were mostly from iOS, which piques my curiosity. Like, how the fuck, why the fuck only iOS players getting falsely banned? As far as I remember,
Weird.
Android. From what I heard from sources, right? From what I heard, like mostly iOS players were safe. Sorry, iOS players has higher risk of getting false ban, and and evidently, that was evidently true because I have a friend who's called Fawful, and
Oh,
most of my
that guy.
iOS, yeah, Fawful, and he got like so many banned accounts. Like, holy shit, how are you still playing the game? Dude, I swear to God, that guy has the same amount of accounts lost to false bans to an actual hacker losing their accounts. Like right now, you know? He has lost so many accounts. It can be the number of accounts can be like comparable with like an actual hacker with so many uh rightfully banned accounts. You know, the number is like almost the same. This how like I don't know how is this guy still playing the game after all that time. So
Your tenacity is commendable, mortal.
my goodness. Oh yeah. iOS accounts getting false banned. You know, I have a lot of iOS friends, iOS players, friends, whatever you want to call them. I heard most of the false ban stories from them. I rarely hear false bans from Android devices when they said there's a lot of false ban when there's like a lot of sorry, when the community like from the Discord, yeah, when they announce not announce but like when they're talking about ban waves, incoming ban waves, I always check whether my account is safe. And it's always the iOS users getting fucked in the ass. When I and then people would just send their false ban screens and I would look at my phone like I'll always boot up Pixel 3D on my phone, think like worry about whether it will be safe and it's still there. Yeah, not false ban, but it's always the iOS. Every time when the ban wave comes, they're more vulnerable to these false bans. I do not know why. Probably there's like some system behind it.
That's weird.
There was an attempt. There was an attempt, but and at some time for some time, yeah, hackers were a bit toned down. The hackers like Pictagon 3D finally had a a new fresh like a fresh of air, to breathe. Fuck my English. Yeah.
What? What are you trying to say?
Where
What are you
Pixagon,
trying to say, man?
when hackers suddenly was seized, after the ban waves, they finally had their new fresh breath, like fresh air to breathe, the first, yeah. Oh my goodness, I forgot how
The
to phrase
first
it.
comeback in a while, I guess. But
No,
yeah,
no,
I get what
yeah,
you mean.
a comeback or a breath of fresh air, yeah, breath of fresh air, yeah, whatever.
But like,
Mindless.
I'm gonna ask this question: what do you think was probably the algorithm the devs used to figure out whether or not a player was cheating?
I would assume. Okay, so I would assume they would use some sort of um some sort of automatic device, some sort of automation, and they usually, from what I heard, they usually keep track of people's currency. I'm not sure about the subscription and the microtransaction history. I'm not entirely sure about that, but probably. But from what I heard, they usually keep track of the currency and like the rate it's going, and if they surpass like a certain amount, usually an inhumanly possible amount, then the automation, the bot will detect it as a hacked account and it will just ban it. So there were some false bans, really rare right now. There were false bans where, like, if you technically get too good at the game, like betting duels chess, you get a lot of gems like really fucking fast. Yeah, you will get false ban at some point, but that's really rare. That's like one of the rarest cases. They usually keep
Hmm.
track on how your currency mainly. That's what from what I heard. Yeah. But the reason why it only affects the false bans only affects iOS players, that I'm really not sure. I'm not expert in that. Really is still all mystery to me. But yeah, in terms of how their anti-cheat works, this is how much I know. This is how much I know about their anti-cheat. They would keep
Well,
track. Yeah,
I thought
like
it was.
what?
I thought it was more primitive than that. I thought they might have like set a maximum currency cap threshold, and if
Yeah,
you
something that
surpass that,
is
if
similar to
if you
that.
surpass that, then they also assume that you're a hacker.
Yeah, similar to that, but but the cap was like inhumanly possible for the time. So I guess so, but I don't think that's a really good measurement, to be honest. Like, what if someone did get like 100,000 coins legitimately, and that is true, someone did get 100,000 coins.
It is possible to get 100,000 coins. I'm willing to bet that, but it's gonna take like years to get to that point
Yes,
without even spending a single dime on anything in that game.
yes, and some
It is still
YouTuber,
possible,
yes, it is possible. A hundred
but
thousand, it only
point
the hundred.
being,
Yes, what's the
yeah, the point being is that whatever the fuck their algorithm might be, whether it was a cap or a bot that measures or like watches over the rate of gain of currency, it is still relatively primitive. If you wanted a better anti-cheat, you would have one that is based on checking the source of where you got the currencies from. That's
yeah,
probably like the strongest form of anti-cheat you can have in regards of getting currencies, because if you can implement an algorithm to where it checks the source of which the currency is from, let's say you figure out, let's say you have earned like an X amount of gems,
mm-hmm.
and then you have some kind of function or bot that checks whether or not they were coming from X gain, and if they like X valid source, and if they come from none of those valid sources, then they can flag it as an invalid source, and then that way determine you as a hacker or like a cheater. If they just had the idea, maybe they did, but I'm just gonna assume that they hardly ever had the idea. Like, and even if they did, they still have to put some effort to implement that, and they were like too lazy to even implement that to begin with.
It's either they're too lazy or they surprisingly, or it's either that or surprisingly maybe they just don't have the funds to invest, which I highly doubt. They don't have enough to invest in a good fucking anti-cheat. Well, yeah, as far as I remember, this is
Yeah,
how like the main anti-cheat works, especially for currencies. Like, I think that's how hackers back then were mainly banned for. Like, I'm talking about like after JBro era, like the very start of modern hacking, somewhere around that era. That's like how most of the hackers get banned and how the anti-cheat works, as far as I remember. They keep track. So like
Oh my
a good
god.
a good example is like my friend of mine, which I did mention a few episodes ago, where he would hack the game like in 2024 PC port, and then he used some sort of gem generator, and then he just got banned from it because like I said, invalid source, the game detects it and just bans right afterwards. Yeah.
Hmm. Right.
But yeah,
Interesting.
we can get more on that really soon later in the stream. But yeah, that's how it is. Uh, as the others,
Yeah, so
they also have this some
what?
sort of system. I would like to mention this. I'm not entirely sure if this is like some sort of anti-cheat precaution, some sort of measurements where at some point, if you were to use very powerful modules on some weapons, starter weapons or like weapons with high DPS back then, there is sometimes you will end up getting kicked out by the game, getting kicked out from the game. I'm not sure whether you experienced
Huh.
that before. Like you were doing just fine. You were just abusing your high modules just to 1 to 2 shot kill players, and for some reason the games will automatically kick you out. And most people, okay, in my case, it was the starter heavy, the signal pistol. I put like mods on it, and yes, I was one-shotting people, and I got kicked from the game from it. Sometimes, yeah, that was just for fun.
Huh.
But I'm talking about where you would use like a very powerful primary, like the level 65 primary, if you still remember the rebook primary.
Ah,
Yeah, people will put like very powerful modules on it and will get kicked out from the game. It's not necessarily a ban, but it's really annoying. And I would assume this is some sort of measurements because people did mention like did speculate it being one of them, like a mod, like a moderator from the Pixel3D Discord would say the reason why people get kicked out from dealing from games because they're dealing too much damage. And again, this is where the automation comes in. What I would assume how it works is that they also keep track of how much damage the damage output, because basically what happened is that the game for some reason detects that you are dealing damage that you're not supposed to, and then the game just kicks you out in suspicion of hacking. So sometimes, like modern days right now, like nowadays, you would see hackers suddenly disappearing out the lobby, getting kicked out. I assume that's like that. So I assume it's that anti-cheat that's working on right now. That is doing the job where they would keep track of the damage output and sometimes the fire rate. Because when you deal too much DPS, right, with all the modules increasing damage, if you do too much DPS, at some point the game will kick you out. And I've experienced that before just for fun. It's safe. Your
really?
account won't be safe. Yeah, yeah, I did try. Your account won't be banned, but but it's like some sort of like a play like safety feature, which I find unnecessary and not really that helpful, to be honest. Because just because you do so much damage, like even if it's legitimately possible, and you just got kicked out just because of suspicion of hacking, that's really just dumb. It still
So
exists.
like total amount of damage per one round or what?
Oh, per second, DPS.
Uh,
Sometimes it's easy to hit shots depending on your
well,
skill.
this is what happens when you try to erase or gaslight yourself to think that pet spam does not exist just
Yeah,
because you try to remove that or like limit that very game style yourself. That's literally what's happening right here.
ironically, cat spam.
If they could cat spam into account, then yeah, but like but hear what you said. That essentially means that that was like an indirect measure against cat spammers. Then cat
Ironically,
spammers could also just get automatically kicked out of the game, which is silly because that is strictly speaking not an exploit.
yes, you're just using the game's mechanics to your advantage. In this case, just switching weapons really quickly. Uh,
Yeah,
uh, uh,
it's the game's existing mechanics that is used to your advantage, and people were whining about it because they are not that skilled enough, or they did not care to use their extra brain cells to figure out how to do the same game style and then
Combo
have a
stringing.
chance to fight against a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like that.
yeah, you have
I
six
mean,
weapons.
the minimum is free cast spamming. I had like this funny vocabulary that I made myself where two cast spamming I called parrying,
Oh my gosh.
and then the two cast spamming was called parrying, and that's like the minimum. If you manage to switch between two weapons and fire between them, bravo! You basically done the basics of cat spamming. Now you go to the free cat spamming, the normal form of spamming, and then you can granulate it into 4 or 5 and 6. Most of the people would say 6, of course, while I call it combo stream because at that point you just have a whole set that is just dedicated to just shoot once, make sure it hits or not, or just switch.
Like you have
But the
six
point being is
weapons.
that you just shoot several strong weapons all together, in which such a game style will just render certain types of weapons pretty useless, unless you just make them really broken.
Like you have like six weapons in your loadout, so why won't they just, try it out? Just weapon switching your weapons
You
pretty fast. It's like a
of
thing.
course the damage output will exceed if they put like a cap to where if your damage output from whatever the fuck just surpasses that cap, if that cap is just based on you playing like a stupid normal player, then of
Yes,
course you're just
yes.
making the system to favor those stupid normal players that don't know how to cat spam, and you're essentially like indirectly trying to ban those cat spam, like I said earlier, which is fucking stupid again.
I don't think this is like a really good anti-cheat. Like I said, you get kicked out from matches just by playing legitimately. And also, I think it keeps track on the DPS on like one weapon. So that's why cat spammers won't get kicked out all of a sudden, if you know what I mean. There were
It's so
also
dumb.
case Yeah, there were also cases nowadays related to server getting kicked out from the servers where um now I don't know why, but now servers are literally crashing. PC servers, PC port servers are literally crashing from time to time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't only affect the PC port actually, my bad. Mobile players get affected as well recently, where there were cases where I would just be playing normally with my friends in Sniper Towers, and then suddenly all of us would get kicked. Like right after a hacker joins, all of us would just get kicked from the server. It's and we speculate it's either the hackers doing, or either it's just or just the servers just doing the wacky ass job. Maybe we can cover that in the
Why
second
would you
part.
wipe an entire server or like an entire game session just because there's like one hacker?
Yeah, I mean, I
That
did
is
know a
so
game.
dumb.
I did know not really server, but like a lobby. But I do know like like one of the games out there that does this practice. Um, so I think it's similar to Valorant, where if there's like a hacker, the game will be completely ceased and the game will just pretend that nothing had ever happened in that lobby. I think that's what PG3D is trying to do, but then again, I don't think it really helps because you didn't even ban a hacker. You just kicked everyone out of the server just because there's a suspicion going on, weird activities around that lobby, and it usually happens right after the hacker gets kicked out. Once the hacker gets kicked out, then all of us would get kicked out right afterwards. s-
That's
Subsequently,
just stupid.
yeah, you wiped out the entire lobby just because there's a hacker in there. There was, not is, there was a hacker in that said lobby. And it happened multiple times, and then it's like, yeah. Anyways, anything you
Why?
wanna I don't know, man. I don't know why the devs did that.
It's it's just pathetic. Man,
Anyways,
like the more I hear the measures that devs have taken to try to reduce the hackers, like the more stupid they've gotten. That's essentially how I look at it.
yeah,
Like, bro, what the hell is this?
the only thing, the most you can get yourself trouble into, just get kicked out from the server, or get kicked off the lobby for some apparent reason. Sometimes it's even a bug for example, like Echo Soldier. I remember that one video he will just get like after a game has ended, he will automatically get kicked out from the lobby for some apparent reason, and he wouldn't get any rewards. That's a parent fault, and that glitch that bug is apparent in one of his videos. So sometimes it's a bug, and now it's also a safety feature. Like, what the fuck?
Safety feature. Safety feature, my
Yeah, the
ass,
thing is,
man.
you didn't even ban the hacker. The hacker is still there. You just kicked all of us out from that lobby. Like, what for? I have to restart the entire 4 minutes again. 4 minutes in the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Anyways,
Absolutely stupid.
do you want to wrap out the old days of hackers? You know, what we
I mean, that was like pretty much all there is to it. It was like, it was so much. It was like so many hacks flowing around as well as everywhere. And I just realized the extent of people having hackers because, again, it just happened slowly but sure. It just happened like slow but surely. And it is pretty noticeable in duels because everyone who is quick and it was like quick and willing to accept or like to bet for a super chest was immediately assumed a hacker with an infinite currency glitch, or like an
hmm.
infinite currency of some sorts. So yeah, it was that era, and also the mod menus. Even though, to be fair, experienced a lot of I haven't really experienced a lot of players who actually use the mod menus, like blatantly using mod menus. And if they were, I would guess that they were using the mod menus probably to just get infinite currencies and then get the best guns out there. There was like very rare occasions where I met a player that essentially broke the game mechanics to where they might be flying or having fucking god mode because that happened. And also that one CS:GO player who just respawned at their death point, which had a little catch because then Ghost Planet players like me back then just farmed the shit out of it and just getting free kills.
Hmm.
I was just one single Ghost Lantern. There's also this one little glitch I'd like to mention, which was happening whenever we had the lottery that featured the acid shotgun.
No idea.
Because there was this one glitch where the winner chest was called like titanium chest,
Uh,
and you could just essentially open an infinite amount of those. And it happened for some time until the developers noticed
oh, you mean that
and
bug? You
took
mean
care
that
of
glitch?
it.
You mean that glitch?
Yeah, it's a glitch, not a
Oh yeah,
fucking bug. That was a glitch, 100%.
I remember. I remember that. Uh, I remember my experience. No, not my experience, but like my closest experience is actually when it was actually a few years ago. I think it's around 2019, or is it? I think it's around 2019, right? That glitch when that glitch happens. Is it around 2019?
I believe it was the first time when they released the acid shotgun lottery.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's
That
around
one.
there. So basically, what happened is that I have this. So I have a friend. He did. Okay, I had a friend who experienced this firsthand. So basically, when he was playing Pixagon 3D, he noticed that the lottery was being weird as fuck, where the keys were all just zero for some apparent reason. And obviously
Yeah.
he got, and obviously he was shocked. And when he tried it out, and he did end up getting all the weapons from the lottery. And and after that, he told me, "Yo, Clement, yo, CLMT, yo, you should check the new lottery right now. Everything is free." I was like, "What the fuck?" And by the time when I opened up the game, it was too late. But yeah,
Yep,
I
they
I heard
patched it.
I heard of that. I heard of that glitch before. Yes, where the keys were all zero for some apparent reason. My friend did get all the weapons from that lottery, but he obviously quit the game a long time ago. But since it was 2019, it was like quite some time ago. But yeah, that actually happened. I did not experience it
But
firsthand, but my
yeah,
friends did. So like that's the closest experience I can share. Yeah, it was wild
well,
though.
it didn't really matter because I think hardly anyone was banned there. The devs took care of it, and from what I remembered, they did take care of it, and they put the lottery back to how it was supposed to be, and also enforced like a reversion of the things that players have gotten. And I think they just assumed that everything that the players have obtained from back then were illegit because, again, I still believe that they were too lazy to implement a more smart anti-cheat system. So like my best bet is that the devs just reverted everything that was collected from the time they were aware that this glitch was going on with the lottery till they patched it for like most of the players. I remember like at least one or two within my friend sphere back then when we played Pixagon. that actually didn't get that actually did get their rewards reverted.
I guess this is like one of those times where they actually did a decent job, I would say. Somewhat decent job in
Well, it's
cleaning
a
up their own
step up
mess.
from their initial like it's a step up from their initial way of handling hackers, but still not good enough
Still not good
in
enough.
my eyes.
Improvement, but still not good enough. Yeah, but there are some times where devs are actually doing the actual job, doing their responsibility well, like reverting, like taking, like sorry, like uh, removing OT from the van after they added it accidentally, and keep trying to keep their promises on not returning a certain set of weapons ever. I'm not sure whether I've covered that before, but yeah, they did there were efforts. They did put in some efforts, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah, those are
Of
one of those
course.
times.
Yeah.
The good moves
Yeah.
of Hexagon 3D devs. Well,
Yeah.
I think we should take a break for now, and we will continue the second session. What do you think?
Okay, fine. Can do the be right back.
Yeah,
If you
I need
have
to
to
take
do anything.
I need to set some stuff up if you don't mind. I'm just gonna take a break.
Uh.
We will be right back.
Uh. Okay. Yeah. Should hopefully be not too long.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
All right, we're back. Oh goodness. Hold on.
Yo,
Oh
yeah.
god. Oh god. No, no, no.
Oh,
All right.
damn, damn.
Oh damn. Okay, there we go.
Era AC.
There we go. All right, so we're back. We're back.
Yeah, there we go.
that was quite a long
Yeah,
break.
I think, oh man, we probably need to do some changes on the main screen in that regard.
Yeah.
Let's see if we could cook up something afterwards. I might try to do some research on that, but we'll just keep it like this for now, without any accidents happening.
Yeah. No, no, there's an
So
easy
yeah, we
fix.
just walk through. Yeah, boy.
There is an easy fix, but we could talk about it after stream. So, anyways, yeah, we're back.
Yeah, welcome back. My goodness. If you're watching this as a finished video on YouTube, you can just skip the be right back session. I mean, you probably will do anyways. But yeah, we're back for some more ranting on hackers. Well, not sure if I'm actually unsure per today whether I do rant on the hackers or just absolutely say nothing or just praise the hackers for what they've done.
All right.
I don't know about you.
So right now I'll be taking over the stage. I'll be covering the hackers activity for the recent times, you know. So I think
Uh,
it's around 2022, end of 2021, and around the head of 2022, Q1 for 2022.
Alright.
Right, so
Okay.
I'll be covering from there, and I'll try to give out as much as I know, you know, until the recent days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to be fair, okay, so hackers were a thing, but I don't really get myself involved that much. Okay, I have some stories about it just to give you guys a general idea, like a concept. Like I said, I couldn't like describe in just a few words. My best bet is just to like, you know, share my stories and hopefully hear you guys' opinion about this. So it all started
Right.
when, okay, so hackers, okay, they're on the rise, and it all started. So we got the most early form of quote unquote hacking is where people would hack the game assets and will make videos about early leaks, like early reviews of certain weapons from certain battle pass. And yeah, so back then hackers weren't doing that much of a harm in terms of like gameplay for other people. So they would like make videos about leaks, PG3D new update leaks about the new weapons, upcoming weapons. Like, okay, so the game gets updated, so therefore the assets will be there, and the game. So the hackers technically, basically, what they do is that they get that assets, you know, and just make early reviews because we all know, I'm not sure about you, but the pattern, the pattern for the event calendars in Pixagon is where they would update the game before the event or like the new battle pass was released. So, for example, like let's say a new battle pass will start in like a few days. So a new update will arrive a few days prior to that battle pass, the release of that battle pass. So in that few days time frame, that time span, that's where the hackers back then will hack the game assets and will do early reviews of said weapons. So yeah, early reviews. Like there was like early reviews. There'll be like a disclaimer on like at the start of the video saying like disclaimer, weapons are subject to change. So yeah, basically it's just for YouTube content. It was actually quite helpful. You know, hackers back then were actually helpful back then, like the very start of it. So they would review early weapons. And then it slowly grew. More of YouTubers came in to help, you know. Funny enough, now content creators are doing the leaks and the weapon reviews instead of the hackers now, so I'm not entirely sure what had happened there. And fast forward quite some time because this is quite a history right now. Fast forward, where the hacks would actually reach out to some content creators from the Discord server. You know, Discord server in the Pix Country the Discord server, they have this kind of content creator program where it's like some sort of not a collaboration, yeah, like a program where if you are like a active YouTuber, you can apply, and if you get accepted, you have special access to this content creator channel on the Discord server. And yeah, and that's where the devs you can so you can do a lot of stuff. You can ask for resources, you can ask for weapon testing, and sometimes currency. So like I said, you get spoon fed from the devs because you are working, technically working for their content, you know, and so far and so forth. And when this
Huh.
kind of hacking kind of reached out to the content creators, obviously, if there is some sort of contract going on, right? So basically, if you were to breach the contract, you will get your role revoked, you get your privilege revoked, and that story happened to Hussein PG3D. I think in my most belief, the hacking incident gets worse from that point, from this guy alone. It's like a butterfly effect, but at like a magnitude of like 10 times.
That's crazy.
So basically, what happens is that at some point, so this hacking stuff, since it's so informative and kind of helpful, so it won't hurt. It won't definitely won't hurt the gameplay. It won't definitely won't hurt the game that much. So this content creator called Hussein, he gave it a try. So he started becoming a hacker, uh, term-wise. He became a hacker and he will start doing the early reviews like leaks, like I said, informative videos and, all that stuff. And then
Mm.
obviously that led him to his role revoked soon after. It didn't take him long. And it didn't mind at first. It was fine. It was fine at first, and then until he uploaded a video where, okay, right now, uh, fair warning, it's saying his PGG channel is now gone. You can't look for these videos anymore. But yeah, but I still remember I've watched him before. I subscribed to him before. So until this one time where he will upload a video of a secret unreleased map. I think it's some sort of like a playtest map for devs. It's like a completely new map, something you have never seen before, and something I've never seen before. Too bad I don't have the video, I cannot describe you. But it's some sort. But the map kind of looks like the old Siege map, if you still remember the old Clan Siege map. It's something similar
Right.
to that. It's something similar to that, but with like extra steps. Okay, that's basically the map. With it's not the developer map that you guys see before, like the blue cube with like all the assets there. No, it's something completely different. All right. I'm pretty sure you heard of that map where it's like there's like all the assets there. You know that blue developer map, the blue cube developer map. I'm not sure whether you know that or not.
Mm. I don't think I do.
Oh, never mind then. So it's not that. It's not the common. It's not the one that you guys seen before. No, it's something entirely different. It's a completely different map. There's no textures on it, and I'm pretty sure it serves as some sort of playtest map. It looks like the map. It kind of looks like the old Siege map, but with like zero textures and with some extra steps. There's like extra decals here and there. And because of that video, he got 3 strikes from the developers. He got 3 strikes, YouTube strikes from the developers, and obviously he got banned from the Discord server as well.
From that footage alone.
Yes, from that footage alone, he got 3 strikes from from the Pixel 3D company. And that ultimately led to his account deletion. Three
Account
strikes.
termination.
Yeah,
That is
three
crazy,
termination. Yeah,
man.
3 strikes, not one, three. He did announce it in the community tab before. He did quit the game at some point, and then he came back a year after, uploaded that video, it got struck 3 times, and the video's gone. His channel's gone. Yeah, that was well.
Damn.
So we had Echo Soldier getting warned by the devs. Not entirely sure if it's actually a flag or a strike from YouTube platform or like just from Discord. So Echo Soldier was forced to delete his video, and we got Hussein who got his channel entirely terminated from the devs. And and then from that point onwards, some people speculated that that's when his Eve villain arc starts, or where things shit get starts to get really bad. Okay, so from that point onwards,
Hold
the
on, who's villain arc?
Hussein's villains are because he got banned, he got his channel
Mm,
terminated, all that stuff. All right.
right.
Well, okay, but basically, shit got really worse from there. It just escalates. Okay. Uh,
God damn.
so basically, hacks. what I would assume is that the script for hacking became an open source, so extremely accessible, and that's where all the hacking, all the gatekeeping, all the business starts. And then the game just became
Oh,
more, and then that's where the game starts to get infested by hackers, because it all starts off as it all started off as harmless, harmless hacking, just informative, in fact, helpful. And then now, because of the strikes, um after that, the hacks became an open source, and that's where shit goes worse. That's when shit goes downhill. You got hackers, you
oh
got
no.
notable hacking community like Yeet this dude, Stardust, Boy Kisser, no joke, Oni, you
He
know.
will actually call himself that?
No. I'm talking. No, there's like different services out there. There are like different free and paid services out there. Some of them, like right now, like notable right now. So like one of them is called Boy Kisser. Right,
Oh,
they're all different, right? There's
that's
even
too
like
funny.
there are even like modding service servers. One of them named after like a specific anime character that I know, with twin tails and whatnot. Right? So
Red and yellow
server
eyes.
modding servers were a thing. Now they're not. They're still a thing. Okay? There were a lot of modding servers back then. Competition between modding servers, drama between modding servers. It was fucking wild. Okay,
Uh,
and then we got
Great.
we got paid. Okay, about drama, I'm not entirely sure, but it basically goes like this. Oh, this guy stole my script. This guy stole my script as well. Let's fight. Basically that. That's like the drama.
What in the actual fuck?
This guy's stealing my script, and he's stealing all my money, bitch. The origin came from an open source. What do you mean? It all came from this open source. No idea what you're talking about, all right? So yeah, modding services were a thing, very hot topic. Obviously, countless people got banned from the server because it technically breaches the rules. It goes against the official Discord server rules, official
Wow.
Pixel
Just
Discord
fucking
server
wow.
rules, where like if you mention anything about modding, you get fucked in the ass by moderation. But outside of that, it was really wild. And right now, there are like a few successful, surviving and thriving modding service like Eat This Dude, Oni, and Stardust, and I think Boy Kisser. I'm not entirely sure. There's literally a mod called Boy Kisser. I
I
don't know why,
swear
but
to God, man.
all right. So
Bro, just fucking bro, man.
from that, okay, so that's 2024. Okay, so I'm just gonna focus about 2022. So
Hmm.
basically, yeah, modding servers. I've been a few. I was been a few, and like I said, there are drama. There's like beef and modding servers. So modding servers like those easily get raided. Easily get raided. Back then Discord itself doesn't have a good raiding protections precaution and measurements. So raiding, bombing, very common like amongst modding servers. They're like paid mod menus, and obviously it became 2017 again, where modding and hacking Pix3D on the videos on YouTube were starting to become a very hot topic. When you search up Pix3D, the first few suggestions from YouTube would definitely has the word hack in there. So it's definitely
Huh.
still relevant, a relevant topic, a relevant thing. So yeah, back then it's more about the modding than the hacking itself. Modding to get like max accounts, unlimited amount of currency. It's less about the hacks. It's really less about the hacks. It exists, but it's really rare to get them, and plus the gatekeeping was crazy, right? So it was all right back then. It wasn't as harmful. It was just for funnies, I guess. And then fast forward to 2023, that's where the shit goes hard. Okay, so modding service died down. Kind of died down. Modding service, like getting everything, that modding service died down. Okay, and around 2023, slowly but surely, actual hackers start to appear. It was in small numbers at first, all right. So not small numbers. It was like it's more of a nuisance, like a minor nuisance than an actual fucking issue. And then yeah, sometimes when I was playing Sniper Towers, I would sometimes encounter like God mode flying hackers, and kill all hackers sometimes, and sometimes aimbot, but not that kind of, not really aimbot, like ghost aim. Uh, if you want evidence, you can look up Zeus PG3D. There's this YouTuber, Pix Country YouTuber, who mainly uploads about clips about PG3D duels, his clips, and some of them includes Hussein himself hiding behind the shadows. and some hackers,
Yeah.
just they're mostly in duels. They're most popular in duels back then, just like back in the days, right? Duels are popular in hackers are popular in duels, and they would like no clip out of the map, do some crazy shit, all that stuff. Ghost aim, which is basically aimbot, but a more mild version of it. Ghost basically is like having it's like a hack where your enemies have a bigger hitbox, so it's easier for you to aim. But then again, it's really notable too, since it's more of a
Right.
visual hack. You'll be standing like behind him. It's not server latency. You can swear on your knees. That's not server latency, all right? Like you can stand like behind him, and he will still somehow one shot you or like hit you. That is ghost aim. And there are also hacks where you're going completely invisible. It was a glitch and it was patched, and now it is a hack. It's still bannable. It is still bannable and such. So this is around 2023. It starts to get worse, all right? It wasn't modding. It has transitioned to a different hack, and it starts to get worse. That's 2023. And then we fast forward to 2024. No, actually, before like pre PC port release, all right? That's where it gets really, really fucking bad. So instead of modding servers, now we got hacking servers, where not only you get the mod, not only you get the mod your account to max, you can also hack, which affects the gameplay of others. And they're also paid, and there's also free services out there, but paid more. And there were also stories, not stories, but it got so terrible. That this hacking case got so terrible that at one point the devs actually managed to file a lawsuit onto one of those services, and it worked. But in the end, what happened is that that script, okay, he got a lawsuit, all right, he got a lawsuit warning, like uh, like like if he doesn't do anything, he will get a lawsuit. He could get himself into court because obviously hacking is like breaching the contract, safety contract of like you're basically breaching like the safety of the game. So yes, it can be considered as a crime or something, right? And what happens is that the hacker has no choice but to make the script the script an open source. So instead of ceasing his activity, he made it to an open source. Now it's now the hacks are more accessible after the lawsuit. All right, the lawsuit from Pixel3D, now they made things even worse. The m- it, w- and what's worse is that that hacking service was a paid service, so the hacks must be good. And now since it's an open source and it's out more accessible, yeah, that's why it gets really really bad from here. So from this point onwards, what do you think?
So so it was simply because it was a paid service that it was so bad for the devs that they actually cared to
No,
just attack or not like to
no, but
threatening
but
with a lawsuit.
no, basically, no, generally they just see it as a threat. Not because it's paid or whatever, but they just generally see it as a hack, as a threat. And basically, and technically, they saw that paid service as the biggest threat. That's my assumption. That's the biggest. He's like
Oh,
the
that's just
most.
fucking stupid.
He's like the spotlight of this hacking community. He's like the beacon or something, if you want to call it. He's like the big guy, the main guy. They filed a lawsuit warning against this big guy, and he had no choice but to make the script as an open source. And again, it's just history repeating itself. Hussein got banned, making his hacks an open source, and then history just repeats itself from like a modding service to like a hacking service. From what initially would be harmful to only just the economy of Pixel, now it actually affects the gameplay of others as well, which is a bigger issue.
Well,
So
here's my issue with the devs' actions. It's like one, the result of this like was like you say, turned into open source. But you also did mention earlier that there were hackers, or there are like similar hacking services that are also paid. It's like why did they not care for that? Was it simply because they didn't earn as much to the point that it actually makes the devs bother or what?
yes, that's what I assume because it doesn't have much recognition. They just target the bigger ones first. They would just target they just targeted that one because that surface is relatively the biggest one. So they thought that as the main culprit, so they just filed the lawsuit against him. The rest are not
And
affected, but
also,
only one guy got affected by the lawsuit. That's it.
even if it doesn't even matter right now, since they already made their move, like now you can speculate that it was because of this huge income that this specific hacking service made was the reason why the devs took action to that specific service, and that ultimately led it to making them open source. If that person could do it, and the devs just decided to file a lawsuit on these other guys, I bet 100% that these guys will probably just make their source open, like make their service open source, so that it just doesn't make shit any better.
Mm.
Because if I remember correct, if I'm not mistaken, if you make something open source, then anyone can fucking use it.
Yeah, that's basically it. That basically make what I'm trying to say. That's how this whole thing got escalated in like such a huge scale, such a huge magnitude because it's an open source.
It's
So that
like, wow, like even them handling such problems, they handle it so poorly. Even handling a problem like that, they actually had any other option to just reduce their hacking problem.
like
But
they
now,
could have
man, they just threatened to file a lawsuit. Look at what he did. Now they can't really file a lawsuit because it's open source. It's like you really do care about the money. Like that's literally what it started to tell me right now. It might be not that deep, but it now just put more foundation to believe that now for me at least. I don't know about you.
for me because from what I see, I think it's because well, it's a threat, you know. It's a threat because hacking, you know, hackers, and so they're just trying to stop this hacking. But if it's because they're making more money, you know, that would be funny. That would be they only just give a shit about the money then. If that's really the case, if just because the hacking service are getting actually getting income from their game, not only their Pixel their game's economy getting harmed, getting destroyed by the hackers, you know. Not only that, but also the one who's doing the harm are also getting benefits. So they would just file a lawsuit against him. Like that's what I.
It's man. I mean, it like the question is if these services were free to begin with, would they even file a lawsuit?
I doubt they would.
Because
I
if the
doubt.
because if the answer is no, or like what you said, then the devs are just as stupid as they were back in the old days.
Well, to be fair, there are free have hacking scripts right now. There are like free hack mod scripts out there right now. And if you use it, yes, you get this you still get banned, but then you won't get a lawsuit. That's for sure.
And
As of now,
also,
all
and
as of
also,
now. What? Sorry, you were saying?
I'm willing to bet that the hacks that might be not well known probably is. It's just because it's probably not really put into spotlight of the devs because they might still think that the devs might care, in which it's unlikely that they care due to their laziness and their lack of security to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Like to be
Like
fair,
this is the handling of the situation is just extremely poor. That's actually just disappointing.
like I said, there are free hacking services out there, and right now I'm telling you, as of now, that's the only lawsuit case, and it's not even an actual lawsuit. It's just it's not, it is like a warning. It is a, it is official lawsuit warning. Right? It's like it is
Right.
official, but like that's the only case of lawsuit getting involved with among the hackers and the devs. Like that's the only case, and that's it. Never happening again. From what
Just
that's the
wow,
only thing
man.
I heard, and probably everyone has heard of. That's like the only thing, yeah, that everyone has ever heard of. But probably there's probably some that we haven't ever heard of, just kept private. But as of now, that's like the only lawsuit case against the
Huh.
hackers throughout the entire history.
So where you
So,
got that info from?
where I got that info from? I think it's from X. It is either from X999 or some sort of the Discord server, modding Discord server. Yeah, modding Discord
Ah,
server. I'm very sure it's from a modding Discord server back in 2022, I think. That's
well,
like the only case. It has been 2 years. It has been 2 years ever since the lawsuit was filed. Yeah.
Wow,
And the hackers got away from it just by making it an open source, which doesn't make anything any better. So
that is
so
absolutely insane.
and then as time goes, hackers grew. There are more hackers that can crash, like I say, soft locks your game. That's only just the mobile port itself. That's before the PC port, where things get escalated by 10 times magnitude. Okay, so hackers would use aimbot. They would crash your. They will soft lock your game. I think that's like the most used hack right now. They would
Mhm.
bombard you with They will bombard you with hundreds and thousands of silver boosters, so that you can, as another soft lock, as another soft lock. Okay, they like to soft lock players. All right. There's a case where players, some countless players, not countless players, like like a number of players, will get affected by this hack, where they will be gifted like a hundred and thousands of silver boosters. And how does this work is that they serve it. This hack serves as a soft lock to players. They cannot, because unless they collect the OK button, unless they click the OK button for every single gift they receive, they cannot interact with the game at all. They cannot do a single fucking shit. They are
Wow.
they have to deal with this soft lock issue where they have to open hundreds and thousands of gifts. And even if someone did open all, then they will get banned for suspicion, for suspicious activity. So it's some sort of
Wow.
soft lock there. Okay. And then there's other hacks where Hussein or any of his disciples would gift you a hero chest, a war hero chest from the clan war, and opening that will basically get you banned. There are cases of it, and I experienced that too. I did not get banned, but some hacker did gift me a chest in clans. But I did not, but I knew better, so I did not open that chest.
Dang.
And another hack back then, like I said, free PC port release. Hussein giving out all Waterfall members back in 2022. Hussein giving all Waterfall members 1 billion likes, 1 billion lobby likes. It's harmful. It's more of a fun one. But yeah, that's just one of the hacks, and I still have those 1 billion likes. I think you've seen that before. That is around
You showed it
2022,
at one point, yeah.
2023. Yeah, yeah. I won't get banned. No one got banned. It's more of a harmless joke. Getting 1 billion lobby likes. I still have it. And then we
Mm.
got, hacks where you are bombarded with a bunch of XP boosters. Okay, this does not soft locks the game, but it's just there. And yeah, people and none of the victims were greedy enough to abuse those. They all reported such activity to the devs, and I think at this point they're resolved. And
Huh.
from what I heard, right? So this is around 2023. This is from X99. He has first hand experience, all right? So obviously hackers they have aimbot back then. He was just doing his usual flag capture stuff, and for some apparent reason, the hacks are not working, and because this basically hackers lost to X999 because his strat to winning flag capture was somewhat hacker proof at its time. All right,
Huh.
and that pisses off a lot of hackers, and he became quite a notable figure in the hacking community. He was often targeted by hackers. He was often catfished and disguised by hackers. You know what I mean? The hackers disguised as X999's alt just to get him banned. Good news, he was never banned. Okay,
Lol.
the devs were not that dumb. Okay, but there were efforts, and I see this as an absolute L for the hackers because they tried to get him banned because just because your hacks because just because he is playing legit and hacker proof, and that pisses you off. Doesn't mean you can just doesn't mean you can want to get him banned. In fact, you the hacker should be banned. So you can see like the irony and the hypocrisy going on. And not hypocrisy, just the irony. People want X99 banned because they're technically bad, because they are technically better than the hackers themselves. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
So that's how he
This
became
is
one.
like the
What?
this is like the original reason to why I despise hackers.
They're like,
Because they hack because in games like this they would hack because there might be other players who are just playing better than them, so they just hacks to just fill their ego, whatever the fuck they might be.
and then when X99 showed up,
That's like initially my picture of the hackers.
and then when they got the egos crushed, despite all their efforts, they just start being, whining babies and wanting to get X99 banned. They wanted to get a legit player banned and not them as hackers to be banned just because your hacks could not beat
Quite
them.
the irony.
Yeah, the irony. So yeah, he became a notable figure. So attempts were made, fire shots were fired. No avail. That guy is still doing well. And then because of that, and fun fact, some of the hacking servers do have a list of potential players. They have like IDs of players. Where they would like stalk them and try to ruin their games. Well, for X99, since his strat is hacker proof, he rarely gets fucked in the ass, and that only catches the ire of more hackers even more. He just single-handedly shook up a good portion of the hacking community, single-handedly, and that made him a very notable figure. All right, so they have this list where they would keep track and stalk some of the players and just join the game because they have this hack where they could just join the game regardless and ruin their games, or sometimes like send them or try to bombard them with hacks like the 100,000 silver boost hacks or 100,000 XP boost hacks just to soft lock the games. Yeah, they have like an entire list, including devs, including content creators, and obviously X99 himself and some players and some Discord users from the Pixel and 3D Discord where they would hack. I'm not on the list, sadly enough. I really wish I had first experience. But sadly,
Yeah,
I was not that famous. I was not that noticeable in the hacking community. So yeah, I was not on the list. But usually there are high ranks in the Discord server, the players that were stalked, that were with their tags included. They are usually top ranks in the server, very active, like I said, very notable players, content creators, yeah. So sometimes they would just join the games, ruin their fun, and yeah, basically that just being sabotagers, being little pricks who have too much time on their hands, you know? That's just the
that's bad.
hackers. Yeah. Like bombing them with hacks. Like they have like the entire server with them. You see, they have this list. They share it to their entire hacking server. So and all their members would just, if they want to have fun, they would just bombard them. So like I said, they just grew to that extent, to this degree, where they would just like launch some
Bad.
sort of attacks to the players and even the devs themselves. This is before PC port. Fair warning, this is before PC port. It has gone to this degree, this stage.
Ah, so it affected PC too, huh?
No, no, not yet, not yet. This is before PC. This is before PC. They have this entire system going on, stalking, sabotaging players with hacks and whatnot, one way or the other. Whether it be softlock, general aimbot hacking, and all that stuff.
Whoever that is a part of that community are bigoted losers, man.
I swear to God, man.
That is crazy.
I think the wildest one is where X99 his target was wanted by the hackers and want him banned just because your hacks couldn't beat him. Like that's the most pathetic
That's what I'm
shit.
saying.
That's
If
like
you
the
have
mo
that way of thinking, you need to get your head checked.
Yeah, that's like the biggest L. This is the worst mindset I've ever seen. The irony.
Yeah, it's like
I
that is
swear to
such
God.
an elbozo mindset. I can't really think of anything worse mindset in a game like this.
Just because you have zero knowledge about the game's mechanics doesn't mean they're hacking, bro. Like XNN has his own way to get 43 flags solo single-handedly in one game of flag capture. 45 flags, that's really impressive. And people think that he's
Hmm.
hacking. Right? I have a similar story, right? I think I told you before. I have a similar story to this, but not in that huge of a scale. Like it's
Well,
not
that's
that
interesting.
to be fair, it's not that easy to get 45 flags alone. Like you have an extensive knowledge about the game's mechanics, It's just because the hackers just don't know any better. So, all right, so
Well, because they're too lazy to fucking know any better. So when they don't, so whenever they don't know the nooks and crannies about the game, and then play against a person that knows the nooks and crannies, obviously will have a better edge into playing the game against them. You see this happening, and now they're crying. But
Hmm.
also turns out that they also want the person banned, even though you somehow forgot that you're also hacking. Like, bro,
Like, what's the point and the irony? Okay, so should I fast forward to PC board? Is there anything else?
was that essentially what was going on with the hacks, man?
No, that is like around 2023. Yeah, that's essentially the hacks 2023 around there. And yeah, there. Oh yeah, right. Duels, hackers and duels. Yeah, as I mentioned, hackers were still more apparent in duels than pool party, like the mainstream modes. But they're, most of them are in duels, since you can scam chess there. So yeah, there were a lot of cases where people would either get lost, or it was not get lost, they would get bullied, no, yeah, by the hackers, if you know what I'm talking about. They would lose countless of
Mm-hmm.
gems to those pesky hackers. Like they would just bet chess, and then obviously the hackers would use the hacks, even though they could have just used the hacks to gain gains, but instead of that, they instead decided to ruin people's lives, make their day worse by, yeah,
Lol.
yeah, getting the chest from themselves, even though they already have like a max currency. So innocent players getting scammed by the hackers in duels, or sometimes the other way
Bizarre.
around, which is equally as risky for both the hacker and the players themselves, because apparently there's also another unspoken rule where if you were to trade chess, basically trading chess or farming chess are banned. How so? And they, like I said, they also keep track. So they also keep track on your currencies and whatnot. And for some reason, their anti-cheat can detect whether when you're hacking. Sorry, their anti-cheat can track whether if you're trading chess or farming chess from hackers. They can detect you. So if you're an innocent player, if you're using the hackers as your own advantage, you can still get banned from the game. So like I said, no good stories, no good endings for these for hackers in duels. If you get it's either you get scammed from the hackers or you get help from the hackers, and then you get yourself into trouble. So yeah,
I
I
mean,
what
huh,
in
I
my
was gonna
case,
say it's like okay, it's like just banning the idea of just farming altogether is somewhat understandable, somewhat not.
it's like a strat. It is a
Like,
strat for getting currencies, or like ways for people to act generous. It is a way for people if they want to
yeah,
act generous, like
that's the thing.
Yeah, like a good example would be YouTubers, official content creators in the CCP. What the content creators program? Okay,
What are you saying, dog?
damn, bro. Okay, so yeah, like Lord Seption. I forgot what is his name. Oh fuck, I forgot his name. So like this, I think, yeah, this is like one of the YouTubers I remember. He does give he did super chest giveaways to his viewers, all right? So like that's one way to act generous. Like I think it's Lord Shepson, I forgot his name. Yeah, like a good example would be him. He made live streams where he would give away super chats out to his viewers. Like if you were to like make if the devs were to make that as a measurement, like that just defeats the point of, like, acting generous and promotes overall competitiveness. Since you cannot
Hmm.
farm chess, you cannot trade chess, you cannot be generous anymore. So yeah. So hackers in duels, both ways are equally as risky.
But I think like the other one that you were talking about with the farming one. Again, I just partially understand, but I also partially don't really understand it because the whole point of them, the only reason the devs are banning it altogether, and this is without doubt the reason, is because they're just assuming that if there's someone farming chests or trading chess, it's definitely because there's at least one player who's a hacker that has infinite currency that's out there.
Yeah.
And just because they put the basis, or like the assumption, they assume that that's the basis, that's why they're just banning it altogether, which isn't 100% fair. Because again, you can use that concept for good purposes, but because it's been smeared by the fact that hackers are added to the picture, then the devs just thought that, oh, maybe just great idea to just ban that altogether, which is again goes to show how lazy they are. They find the most evil way to just deal with any particular bad situation that they might come across. It's astonishing.
Yeah, so that's the pre-PC port release the hackers incidents, the most notable ones. So modding services, hacking services, lawsuit, open sources, people getting targeted, and yeah, them in hackers, and which will also result in some actions that the devs have taken.
Hmm.
The actions the devs have taken. One of them is that just banning people who trade chess. I think that's I think that's one of the aftermaths of
Wow.
hackers. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah. So
And they're like,
essentially,
yeah,
the old hackers. So essentially, the old hacking era focus way less of directly hurting other people than this type of hacking right now.
yes,
That
yes,
is crazy.
this one is more direct to like affecting the gameplay of others. Yeah,
Just fucking wow,
and
man.
like the few I have mentioned before, like the game kicking you out for no apparent reason,
Tja.
and the amount and the way and the ban waves, the server maintenance. Good God, all because of
I mean, the
hackers.
bad waves weren't really to the greatest avail, to be dead honest.
Yeah.
And
So
plus, they're
now
probably just gonna fight a perpetual battle with the hackers.
they're not on our arm race. They're not on our arm race between hackers, and right now the hackers are winning. They catch up really easily. I'm telling you. Every time they update the
Uh,
game on their anti-cheat, the next day, like their hacks will get patched, and right after the next day, it's usable again. It's unpatched. You know what I mean?
that's crazy.
So the devs are on our arm race against with these hackers, and right now, and as of things are right now, the hackers are winning.
Yeah, it's probably like the dev's biggest flop right now with this game is because of this massive security hole that they have, which has led to all of this shitstorm that could have easily been avoided if they actually invested their time into actual good anti cheat into their game. If they just simply did that, all of this bullshit could have been avoided. 100%.
Hmm. Right, now we will skip forward. Now we will fast forward to the PC port. Okay, so apparently PC port, wow, release. Everyone was happy about it. And obviously, like I said,
Yeah,
just
because nostalgia.
and then it's just the devs being shit at security. The game is now more vulnerable than ever. So now we got PC mods everywhere. And by the way, the mods I mentioned back then, the modding service like Stardust, Oni, Boy Kisser, Eat This Dude, they're all actually PC ports. I couldn't remember any modding service anymore because they're like more than a year ago. But right now, yeah, PC port. They're on an arm race and they seem to be winning right now. And the hacks get crazier from here. No, they cannot ban players directly. No, they do not have that power yet. But I think they will do, right? So again, they are paywalls. They are like paid hacks. They're also free hacks. The free hacks being quite limited, being being more limited than the paid ones. Some of them being quite pricey just for script, just to hack a dead game like this. The most expensive one I heard right now is about $60, 60 USD by the way, 60 USD, 60 to
Well,
75 US dollars just for a lifetime hack. I don't know why would you call it lifetime. Honestly, like do you think this game will go on for that long? All right, so the paid
I
it
mean, it's a lifetime hack, so you're probably expected to have this until the game actually dies. In that
yeah,
regard.
yeah, until the anti-cheat actually gets starts to improve, which honestly, in my opinion, is like the worst investments you can put into, because you are paying a hacking service to a dead game. Whether it will thrive or improve its anti-cheat or not, I am not entirely sure. So we have two scenarios here, right? Let's say
Uh
you
huh.
your dumbass your dumbass bought the $60 lifetime pass for the hacks, all right? So let's say
Great.
great, you can do harm to the game. Okay, so let's say the game suddenly got invested heavily on the anti-cheat, and it was so good, none of the hacks and all the it was so good. Okay, let's say it was so good that the hackers immediately lost the arm race. All right, that is okay. So what you're gonna do? Your hack doesn't work anymore. Your $60 lifetime, quote unquote, supposedly lifetime hack doesn't work anymore. All right. This is evident throughout the 2022 era, the 2022 modding era, before the hacking even started. All right. Just this is just the modding. All right. People will spend tens of dollars, dozens of dollars just to get a modding script, on their account just so they can enjoy it. And then at some point, that ultimately got patched, which means that you lost your dozens of dollars on this stupid little hack. You see, and I bet it will happen again eventually, right? This not exactly like the anti-cheat being good. I'm not talking about that. I mean like you losing your money. I bet that will happen, and that will definitely happen, honestly. Yes, because you are hacking a game, that game sooner or later it will either get shut down or just get shut down, to be honest. Yeah. You will get shut down or just get killed by the players, you know what I mean? Like why would you honestly spend money at all on these games? Why would you even spend money on Pixagon? Why would you even spend money on these hacks, even though the game is already fucking dead? It's only a matter of time before the game actually dies or just shuts down for real. Like I said,
I mean, there's so much as they're celebrating their 11th fucking birthday, yada yada yada. It's like greatest celebration of your entire life when your game's like down as down low as it has ever been in terms of player base and the active players. Let me actually search of the concurrent players right now.
like I do not understand why would people actually will actually spend $60 on a hack on
Okay.
this dead game, on this dead ass game. I don't get it. Like
Uh,
seriously.
okay. So the
It's
average is like about 7K players in the PC version.
all right.
Yeah, that's the PC version.
It's either
Uh,
the hacks, it's either they improve the anti-cheat and then you lose your $60, or the game just fucking dies over the shenanigans that has happened, and then you lose your $60 lifetime hack. Like, what's the point of that?
well, huh. Well, at this point, it's like to begin with, hackers is like it's like let's just get this clear. Like hackers is just not a good thing to do. Like just hacking in general is just not a good thing to do because
Yes,
again, it fucks with the system and you can also fuck over the intention of a particular software that was supposed to be used in like XYZ way, and then you just made it to where it's possible to behave in ABC way. That's not how it was supposed to be. So you're essentially breaching the security there, and like hacking in general should be considered like a form of cybercrime,
yes, yes, I agree.
even though it is strictly speaking not in like most of the world. I've heard of like a couple of countries where they consider cheating the game as like an illegal act, like can get into real trouble, which should have been enforced like that to begin with. But then again, since we're at this current state of age, and since we're talking about Pixel Gun 3D, if the hackers somehow manage to kill the game with their hacks, I have no remorse for the game because the game has such a dumb system that no kid should deserve to get ever exposed to. And let's say if I have a kid again, I would just do everything with my power to just have the kid not play Pixel Gun.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, PG3D has to get what they deserve. In this case, it's like hackers getting
They
infested.
will reap what they sow. I mean, they are currently reaping what they're sowing,
Mm-hmm.
especially after they made that poor decision of which you said in what you've said about them filing a lawsuit, which ultimately led to the hacks being OpenStack, which just only goes to show that they're just after the money. They're just after the money. If they get any competition in that, or if they get any competitor of the money, then they can just file a lawsuit on it in one way or another.
Mm. So yeah, and
It's such
about
a
the
lazy way to just resolve things, man. It's absolutely amazing to see that's just over and over again. Just find the laziest fucking solution to deal with things, which is it's like yeah, you just want to you do want to ease your work, but like you can't ease your work too much to the point that it actually becomes a detriment to your product.
like the thing how they practice is that they would like they would like make announce when will they have a DDoS attack. It's really obvious. It's easy for the obvious sorry it's easy for the hackers to track the devs when they're gonna release out the patch. That's the issue. From what I heard, it's really they made it easier for the hackers to win this arm race. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Because the devs are predictable.
Right now devs are just being a book right now for the hackers. They're just reading the hackers are just reading devs like a book. From what I heard, they will always announce before they release a patch, and that gives them the perfect timing. The hackers the perfect timing to make an unpatch to their hack. Yeah,
Oh well, I guess that was it for today's episode, isn't it? Not? Or do you have anything else to say in regards to this topic?
I think I still have a little. I can talk about the hacks they have, the most common ones.
All right.
All right, so I'll try to make this quick. So around 2022, 2023, the most common hack was total blindness, turning everyone into mechs,
What
soft
the
locking,
fuck?
yes, soft locking your game. You know that one glitch? I'm not sure whether you were there, but there's this one bug on Slender Touch where if you get shot by it, you become a mech and basically you become unplayable. All right, so they have that
Again,
hack.
I quit the game years ago, so I most likely am not have not had first-hand experience in whatever new forms of hacks that they might have introduced to the game.
So basically, just they just turned you a tank that cannot be killed or can kill, right? Just not exactly soft locking experience, but it is kind of there. Total blindness, which is a hack where you get blinded by every blindness effect that exists in the game at once. The most common one back in 2022 to 2023 was levitating every player. Yes, levitating every player. Blindness, give them total blindness, turn them into useless tanks, right? And yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not sure about teleportation. Aimbot, kill all. I'm not very rare back then. Kill all, kind of rare. Yeah, kind of. Ghost aim. Well, ghost aim was more popular than actual aimbot. Yeah, ghost aim.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking wow.
So people would like. Oh, and also yeah. You being able to use removed items like the grappling hook gadget now became an ender pearl. You know, some hackers can still use those. Can still use those removed gadgets. Yeah, that's one perk. Yeah, that's just one of the hacks. I think that's basically yeah, very the most common hacks. Total blindness, useless hacks, total blindness, useless mech, levitation, random charm effects, random charm effects, charm and weakening. You know, I don't
Lol.
know why these two only, but yeah, these two. And then when the PC port, it gets crazier from here. Mm, Unlimited sensitivity, which renders your camera into chaos, but basically like you cannot move, not exactly you can move your camera, but you know the higher
Just like
sensitivity,
beyond max sense,
all max
I
sense, but
guess.
yeah, all max sense, but it's like infinite amount. So basically, you cannot look properly. You cannot look properly.
You just
basically.
gotta you like you like moving your mouse or your finger like 1 millimeter and just makes you turn 360 like 30 times or something.
Yes, yes, yes. And up and down. If you look up, it's either you look up or you look down. So you cannot move your camera at all. Yeah,
Wow.
that's the PC port. That's the latest one. And now the latest one, you have kill all. You got aimbot. There are some interesting aimbots where it actually affects your point of view. There's a client-side aimbot, right? This, which I recently found out, and I find it interesting. There is a client-side aimbot where instead of you having to turn your camera, it's a client side, and it made it so that like every player is in front of you, locked in that position, and all you have to do is just hold down the mouse button, the fire button. That's it. Okay, imagine Portal 2. You know Portal 2? When you grab an item.
I just heard of it and barely watched some clips and videos of it.
I have to look for the video, but try to picture this, all right? This is how this client-side aimbot works. So try to picture this. You're playing a Portal game, right? And then when you try to use, no, sorry, when you try to hold like an item up with your Portal gun, you know what I mean? That's basically
Uh,
how the client-side aimbot hack looks like. So it works fine for everyone. It looks fine for everyone. Everyone's still doing fine, but for you, it looks like as if every player is in front of you, locked to your camera, and all you have to do is just press the fire button.
you're gonna get him kills.
Yeah, get them kills. But for other people's perspective, it's just you standing at one place and then just fire down the weapon, kill all hack. There is the kill all hack where you just die instantly no matter what, dealing massive damage, and then you got that client-side aimbot hack, which is like a mild version of kill all, but you just die one by one, slowly. And then you got okay, so the blindness hack is gone. Okay, like I said, the bobble hacks, the 22, 2020, the 2022, the 2023 hacks were not much of a thing anymore. They're like really rare, probably discontinued now that the PC hacks have taken over. You got points hack where you get 3 million points or 6 million points in like a single action so that you can win every single deathmatch game.
Right.
And then you got modding weapons, you get every weapon you have. Free module upgrades where the requirements for the amount of modules to upgrade is zero, so you could just, currency hack, obviously. Gem generator, you get gems, but they just generate for you. I don't know why you want that. Speed hack, making people faster hack. Yes, that is the thing. Making people run faster hack. Crashing their game. I'm not sure. No, I think
It's essentially just fucking whoa. Just game breaking hacks.
a lot of yeah, game breaking hacks. You got spam in the chat hacks, where you get chat spam hacks. Where you can make the hack do an automation for you to spam the chat with like a specific message. No cooldown, no gadget cooldown hack, unlimited ammo hack, all the common hacks you can think of. It's there. Getting a girlfriend hack is not there though. Don't get me wrong.
What?
Yeah, nothing. So yeah, a lot of
Why is that
hacks.
a thing?
Nah, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. But like, yeah, a lot of
That's
hacks going
pathetic.
on. Really wild stuff. Really wild service, and they're all under behind a paywall too. All these hacks, kill all, fly hack, speed hack, you name it, it's all there. Oh, and there's also a
Huh.
god mode hack. The name says it all. God mode hack, where
Huh.
when the spawn prot just doesn't go away. Yeah, there's a hack where your spawn prot just doesn't go away, makes you unkillable. There's
Yeah,
also
I mean,
aimbot.
I remember that God mode. I faced a couple of God mode players.
Yeah. And about that experience I had, remember when I said that I would share my experience about being called up by hackers? I think I mentioned it before. So basically, uh, I use max modules on my default sniper rifle, which is like the weakest sniper of all. I use that. I use X mod for
Uh-huh.
that. And basically, I was one tapping
Yeah.
everyone to the head. A hacker noticed that, calls me a hacker, and guess what? He used his hack against me.
That's
Like,
crazy.
so like the irony, yeah. Even though I'm just a normal player, and then he went to make a clan called Anti-Hacker, kill them all, and he's the leader. He made a clan that goes against himself, the likes of himself. The worst part is that he thinks that I'm a hacker just because I'm one tapping people with extremely high mods. And obviously, I added him, and they still call me a hacker. And like I said, because they do not know any better. I told them they just look it up how modules work, and they just don't believe me. Because modules damage boost scales up by grade, by rarity. The lower the rarity, the more boost, damage boost it gets. That's like one of the niche balancing things you might not know yet. So there's this balancing system where like the lower the rarity of your gun, the more boost they will receive from the modules. And that basically how it works. That's how I'm one-tapping people with default sniper rifle. I basically do that to the
Huh.
hacker, and obviously he is still a dumbass. He still thinks I'm hacking, and I look at his stats. He's a modder. I mean, I don't have the evidence of him hacking, but he's definitely a modded account. It's right there. The numbers are right there, displayed publicly. I reported his account. His account got banned right afterwards. It was so funny. The irony.
Huh.
Getting called out by a
Ah,
hacker,
damn.
getting called out by a hacker that doesn't know anything is like the best feeling, bro. I swear. He, like this is there's this one game where he calls me a hacker and then he at the last very second he uses his hacks against me and after that he just keeps using his hacks against me and no one else and no one else even though there's a and then I just keep joining his game at some point and even there's an actual hacker there he doesn't care he only targets me he thinks that I'm the only hacker. It's so dumb, I swear. That guy should know, that guy should know better. I told him how the modules works. I know you guys might think that I'm just wasting my time. To be honest, I fucking allow it. I like trolling with these dudes. Cause they just dumb. They just don't know any better. They just think I'm a hacker just because, you know, they do not know modules exist. Like, come on,
Because you
like
actually know, because at least you use more of your brain cells to figure out stuff, unlike these lazy fuckers,
exactly.
man.
But like, and plus, you got modded accounts. You have your hacks with. Why can't you just do the same? I don't get it. So yeah, that's just my experience with hackers being called up by hackers. You know. It's just that this guy made a clan about going the likes of himself. Like, come on, man, you could do better.
Huh.
Like he thinks that he's
The
trying to
glaring
use
hypocrisy.
like he thinks that he's using his hacks for good. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you know who's a hacker and who's not? Like if you can't even differentiate that, then what for? Then what for you try to use your hacks for good? You're not doing anything. You're not a mod. You're not a dev. You can't just ban them. And if you do, you just falsely ban me for your lack
Huh.
of knowledge. So like yeah. He thinks he's smart, just
Ah,
but in the end he doesn't know any better, just like the rest of the hackers. So far, only him
that's
though.
crazy.
So far, he's the only hacker who thinks I'm a hacker, even though that's totally false. I'm not a hacker.
Man,
Yeah,
the glaring hypocrisy. That is just mad.
that just goes to show I should have included this story to the community episode, the previous episode. Perfectly
Yeah.
illustrates the mentality, the mob mentality, the hackers these days. I swear to fucking god.
I swear, if they're all on alpha, then I'm starting to lose faith in humanity.
True,
Fucking hell, man.
true. I mean, right now, from time to time, I see you use the default sniper rifle to one tap people onto the head. Yeah, I got people still think I'm a hacker, but then obviously they do know better. They do know better, better than that hacker. I swear to God. Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. I wish I had X99 here. Maybe we'll have a part two here with guests, hackers with guests. Maybe we can know more about
Oh,
these
we'll see.
hackers. Yeah,
We'll
I mean
see.
that's all I have. That's all I know for now. The hacks they
Oh,
have.
cool.
Yeah, the experience. At least they don't crash lobbies anymore. That's the good part. Thank good.
They don't nuke lobbies.
Yeah, they don't because that's really annoying because you have to reopen the game. That's really annoying. And thank goodness they're over with that. Honestly, out of all the hacks, that is the worst. That's the last hack. That's the last hack I want to see in my game. Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's worse, getting your game nuked probably every third game or something, or being targeted by a hacker who is just filled with glaring fucking hypocrisy.
Uh, no, honestly, I'd rather go with the latter. I'm, I'm being honest. Sorry. Yeah, but like imagine getting soft lock again. That's like the most annoying thing ever. I swear to God. Every time when that happens, I hate it, bro. Yeah, I think that's basically it for this stream, I guess. That's all I have. That's all the modern one. And in fact, this section, the second half of this of the stream is slightly shorter than it's actually way shorter than I expected compared to the first section, the old days of Pixel 3D hackers. So yeah, I think this is the stream, man. What do you think?
Hmm.
I think we can wrap up the stream here.
Man,
It's been
yeah, we
more
can
than a,
wrap it up.
it's been more than 2 hours. Holy shit.
Yeah, going beyond your expectancy, huh?
Yep. Well, this is the episode of Hackers, I guess, from our points of view,
Yes,
and probably some history
yes.
lessons
This
for
is
all to
like,
know.
yeah, history lessons with your boy Boss the Modern and clmt, two of your most favorite PG3D ranters out there as for now. Hope you guys did enjoy this episode filled with hacks. Well, not really informing you of how to get them, but rather the consequences and the shitstorm that ensue whenever people resort to hacks.
We do
That
not
is the
endorse
TLDR version of the
we
episode.
we do not endorse hacking, guys. Please do not hack.
No, we do not endorse hacking. We're only here to just talk about the shitstorm and the bad shit that happens with the
Yeah,
hacking. We do not support hacking, but again, like I said earlier, if the game dies due to the hackers, that's literally on the game itself. That's literally on the developers it's themselves. They need to like they are reaping what they're sowing right now. Because again, I don't want any more kids to just get subjected to a shitstorm like Pixel Gun 3D at all. Despite of the game living for like 11 years with a service that literally exploits kids naivete and the fact that they're not knowing any better.
right. And
And also just fostering a really stupid community as well. Like, bro,
it's just alpha, Gen. Come on, it's just Gen Alpha. Come on. Not that deep. There we go.
right. Oh yeah, anyways, see you guys later.
See you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.